I've always known that money is a lie.
Money is a lie.
Money is a lie.
Care to expatiate.
It's a facade. It's a
It's a
mirage.
mirage.
It doesn't exist. It's all lies. Because show me the great men, the wealthy men of yesteryear. The wealthy men of yesteryears are not necessarily the great men of yesteryear. Instead of remaining in school to be a lecturer, I would rather go and be a bus conductor.
Wow.
That there are more opportunities out there than there are as a bus conductor than there are as a university lecturer. How do we justify that we have a rich weather, we have a rich land, we have a rich people, very intelligent people, but we are looking like we are cursed?
Dude.
What would be the problem? And I hit gold when I realized that the moment you start looking away from the so-called leaders onto ourselves a solution for our continent, the earlier we would hit that solution. We encourage you to spend 1,500 on yourself, but save 1,500. Why? Because what you save will save you.
What you save
will save you. So system is what is making it possible for God not to be in charge of your brain, your heart, your lungs, part-time. He built a system to run itself, and every time he's watching you now, he's watching you in his glory, that yes, see the work of my hands glorifying me. Every good business has 4 components, if I can quickly share that. Number 1, it helps people make money. Look for things around you that will make people around you make more money. It will be a good business. Number 2,
Hi everyone, welcome to Unfiltered, the podcast where we go beyond headlines, titles, and achievements to uncover the real stories behind extraordinary people. Today, I have the privilege of hosting a man whose name is associated with enterprise, innovation, and impact. He has built and led multiple successful ventures across different industries, creating opportunities, solving problems, and inspiring countless entrepreneurs along the way, including students and youth. But beyond the businesses, is a person with a story, a journey filled with decisions, challenges, victories, and lessons that many people never get to hear, and you will hear them today. Today, we will explore that journey, uncover the mindset behind the success, and discover the principles that help him build lasting businesses. Please join me in welcoming our distinguished guest, Mr. David Sowemimo. Put your hands together.
thank you very much.
Welcome, Mr. David, to the podcast.
Thank you.
So let's begin like this. Before the businesses, before the success, who were you? Who was David? I'm sorry to use that tense, but when I say was, I mean before the Genesis. Who was David? Can you just tell us a little about your early life, your background?
Okay, Sowemimo David is the name, and like you rightly pointed out, I am the 4th out of 5 children, born to an average family, civil service family. Dad was a teacher, secondary school teacher, later became principal. Mom was a secretary, later became full housewife. Basically, we were around during the times of Babangida must go, Abacha must go,
Okay.
and all of that. Childhood was a very healthy mix of the good, the bad, and the ugly. Privileged to be educated, but not as privileged as to have everyone, as to be born with a silver
So
spoon.
you did not study abroad.
No, there was no studying abroad or going for summer or things like that. Our summer was in our hometown, where we would
Where
hawk
in Oyo State.
in Oyo State, where we would hawk different things for grandma, run after grandpa's bicycle to the farm, to the Bado farm, I can recall. That was largely what childhood was. It was a mix of the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Where did you grow up, sir?
Ibadan in Oyo State was where most of our growing up were. Primary school was at Army Children's School. It was initial Army Children's School. Later, I went to a private primary school Then for secondary, I was at Olivet Baptist High School, Oyo.
Wow.
Initially,
Great
then
alma mater.
Great alma mater.
Olivet Heights.
Olivet Heights, thank you. So that was the initial years. Later, I went to a private school in Ibadan. That was where I finished. And then
What private school is that?
Royal College,
Okay.
Royal College, Bashorun in Ibadan.
It's a secondary school?
Yeah, secondary school.
Okay.
And from there, I advanced to Bowen University in Osun State.
Great university, Iwo?
Yes,
the Baptist
owned by the
University.
Baptist Convention, Nigerian Baptist Convention.
Oh wow! So we can see where all these details are important because it shows us some of the journey and the people that made demand. Because regardless of what we were, we cannot remove those parts of our life from our formation. All right, sir. I want to ask you a question. What makes you at what point did you believe that entrepreneurship was the path to pursue, and what made you make that decision? What made you believe that entrepreneurship is the path to pursue? Were you ever employed as a civil servant or a private servant at any point in your life?
Yes, I was right after school. In fact, I pride myself as one of the few Nigerians that never looked for work, to the glory of God. Right from after university, we're still waiting to serve. When I got a job, when my older sister got me a job with then the group managing director of Champions newspaper at the time, Mr. Imago. He did so much to ensure that I was able to serve in Lagos, that I was able to serve with him. And, those were very, very great times of learning under the very best, but my entrepreneurial journey began a little before my graduation from the uni. I was to make a decision. I love to teach. If all jobs pay the same, I'll be a teacher. I just love to teach. And I was wondering, do I want to continue in the academic line so that I'm able to fulfill my lifelong passion of teaching? So do I want to remain back in school for my master's and then PhD and then lecture? Or do I want to go out there and venture? That was quite an interesting time because I was in between that decision for about 2 weeks. Then at some point, I was traveling between Ibadan back to school in Iwo, and it was a bus full of students. Pardon me.
Sorry.
Full of students, and I had one of our colleagues say behind, I believe it was God that just spoke through him, because then I was really asking God, if I were to settle down for lecturing, I would never have worked one day in my life because that's my life. That's my vision and ocean.
Oh, wow.
But then I was also looking at what the world out there would hold for me. What opportunities are there? I could tell what my life would look like if I stayed back in the academia and eventually become a professor. I grew up at, around University of Ibadan. All the people around me were professors or academic.
So you have seen the future.
I've seen the future. I've seen the future if I were to remain.
What your life could be.
But what I didn't know was the other part. If I ventured out into not that so secured path, which was entrepreneurship. I had led boys while much younger, GSS2, GSS3, at the Royal Ambassadors of University of Ibadan in some entrepreneurial.
Royal Ambassador?
Yes, of the University of Ibadan Baptist Church.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yes.
So when you say Royal Ambassador, I know that is associated with Baptist.
With the Baptist.
So I didn't hear Baptist.
Okay. Yeah. So before I led the boys group, we had bad names with the professors who were, the leaders of the church. And boys were always playing ball now. So we would spoil their cars, we would kick ball into their side glass and like all these stupid boys, silly boys and all. But then when I became the president, I encouraged the boys. Like we have offering every Sunday when we come for meetings.
Oh, you did a meeting on Sunday?
Yeah, we did our meetings on Sundays. Like, what are we doing with this money? I mean, how much do we have there now? Maybe then about 20,000-25,000. So let's invest it. The University of Ibadan Baptist Church had, very huge land. Like, let's hire some people to help us cultivate. Let's plant cassava. Let's plant maize. And beyond that, there is a porch that reserved water naturally in the compound. Let's use that for fish pond. And that was how boys backed that idea, and then we began to do agriculture. So we went from being cursed every Sunday to being blessed, because when we came for our RA meetings, that's Royal Ambassador meetings, the women would come for their women meetings, the men would come for their men meetings. And when they are going home, we are selling very big bunch of ewedu, jute leaf for very cheap. We're selling for vegetables for very cheap, and they're like, boys, you become an asset. From being a liability to us, you don't want to bring our cars to church because you destroy it. You have become an asset. So I saw the joy on our parents' faces, on those that didn't really like us. I saw the joy on their faces. We hardly got their vote when we needed anything. If we were going for camp and they needed to support us, they weren't so happy. Like they were to the girls auxiliary. They always sponsoring those ones, but we were like bad boys.
You're boys now.
But all of a sudden, they were now rooting for us. They wanted us to host camp meeting. They wanted us to go for events.
Our boys have become responsible.
They have become responsible. I saw that transformation, and that inspired me. So, like I was saying, in the boss, a guy started. I don't even know who it was, but he started to say that, God forbid, why would I remain in school to become a lecturer? That instead of remaining in school to be a lecturer, I would rather go and be a bus conductor.
Wow.
That there are more opportunities out there than there are as a bus conductor, than there are as a university lecturer. I mean, these are the things I've been praying to God about, that which decision which path should I follow? And this is a boy roaring it loud, behind me, saying that, no, this is the path to follow. The scripture says, you will hear a voice behind you saying, this is the path to follow. Walk in it. That was the literal for me, and that was the point where I knew I was going to become an entrepreneur.
Wow. So what business, because now I know, to the best of my knowledge and the research I did about you, I know you have several business. And you've told us about the business you do with the boys. But personally, what was the first business you started, and how did it teach you? What did you learn from that business?
Well, I did some little businesses back on campus, sold recharge cards, sold Indomie, sold, a few things with my fiancé at the time, who is now my wife today.
Wow.
We started from campus. We invested in a lot of things, including some, one time she's a sports person, and I am an investor.
Investor.
So one time, they announced that we were all broke in school. My older brother was in school. My sister, my fiancé was in school. I was in school. So they announced that they were going to do a relay race for females. Okay. I couldn't run. My brother couldn't run, but I knew that she could run. So I went to meet my brother.
Was he going to come with a prize?
Well, it was coming with a good prize. Wow. I think at the time about 25,000 naira or something like that. And we were to buy the form for 1,000. So, but I knew that my girl was going to win because she's the #1 sports girl of the university.
Wow.
So I went to my brother and I convinced him to co-invest with me to buy form for her.
Form.
So we gathered money to buy the 1,000 naira form. I think he gave me maybe 700 or 800 naira of the money. Wow. That was a lot of money. And I added the little that I had and went to buy form. So the day of the race came, we were, going to be there to hype, and we were there to hype. But she hadn't finished the first lap before she had a muscle pull. And that was the end of it. The moment she got the muscle pull, I was in between running after her to, carry the love of my life off the pitch, or sinking on the pitch to say, we are in trouble. All the money, where do we start from? How do I pay back? Because I did, I spoke to my brother with gave my brother a lot of reassurance about the investment.
Okay, it was not a gift.
No, it wasn't. It was an investment. It was an investment. But then, to his credit, he was the one saying, "What are you doing? Go outside, go carry her." I went there and picked her up. He never asked me for the money. Thank God for that. But that's the kind of orientation that I had over time. That there are people that have assets, that with a little bit of encouragement could break the glass ceiling. So why don't you give them the push, So that's pretty much how that journey had been.
Okay, so every successful business have their setbacks, you know. So I don't know if you have experienced any setback. What has been the biggest one? I know there are several, but I want to know the biggest, what you would call. I don't want to call it a business failure, but I want some the one that failed outrightly. There are some that had a setback and then they kick off again, but the one that actually failed outrightly and the lesson that you learned from it.
Well, the one that I would say failed outrightly would be autosymmetry.
What's
So,
that? Please, some of us don't understand.
okay, autosymmetry, just auto for cars and symmetry for where people are buried.
Okay.
So straight out of uni, I told you I got an instant employment with a media house, and I was rising. I was rising in that career, but a major thing that bothered me every time I was on my in the next newsroom, like we called it back then, was the fact that I couldn't live my life like this all through, and I quickly rose to become the head of the local government desk for a media organization. And that saw me traveling through every part of Lagos for documentaries with the local governments. We record the accomplishments, we record every one of the things they've been able to achieve. And we had very great support of the local government chairman at the time to start what we call the autosymmetry.
Okay.
Because we had abandoned vehicles littering everywhere. Boko Haram was using them in the north at the time to plant bombs, IEDs and all of that. So we're like, we don't have to wait for it to happen in Lagos before we begin to move things out. Let us begin to clear them out. So after I approached two, three local government chairmen, they said after they've spent on education and on health, they don't have any more money to spend on things like that, that the private sector come in, they would be able to help, that they would be happy to collaborate. So I prayed about it, and together with a few friends, came together and we formed what we called the autosymmetry. Now the business model was
DIIT.
DIT at the time, autosymmetry. So the business model was very simple. We were going to help take out every one of the vehicles that were abandoned in the local government into a place within the local government where we called the autosymmetry. Now, the roads are freer for vehicular movements, reduces traffic. It's better looking for aesthetic reasons. There are no abandoned vehicles here. Like I said, you could have a new classroom built or a new public health center built. But when we are taking the pictures of the documentary, these vehicles are always dotting, those pictures. And what a shame that is for everyone wanted to send those media to those that were watching from abroad. These things helping to be. So we luckily got the approval of one local government, and we were doing that. We were removing it to a place we call it the autosymmetry.
So, sorry to cut you short. I'm trying to understand the concept behind the autosymmetry. So we are talking about a symmetry for dead cars.
A symmetry for dead cars. So we removed them, and then owners of those vehicles, if they are still interested in them, would come and sign a bond with the government that they were not going to leave them on the streets again. And they would put a chip on them to ensure that if they were found on the streets again, they would forfeit them to the government. So, that the business model went quite well. But down the line, we found out that there were some laws that were covering local governments, but not well enough to do that work. We had invested time, a lot of emotions, a lot of harassment from the police, because sometimes you go and pick those vehicles and police will come and arrest you in the office, having seen that you're not working alone, you're working with the government and all of that. They would still come and arrest you and milk you, and do all sort of things to you. Eventually, they would congratulate you for doing a good work for the society, but that's not without the harassment. But down the line, we found out that the laws that were covering it were weak, and it's been with a lot of money gone down, with a lot of passion and investment and hope. And many young people that have encouraged to join me in the venture, a lot of international funding that also came in, for it. So that was one business that went bad, but I really thank God because he compensated us in other ways.
So, sir, to my best knowledge of you, I discovered that you have a nose to identify opportunities where others miss it. What is the secret?
People, people. We tell a story often when I'm having my mentoring session of Akim. Akim is the boy that is sitting under the frying pan of the woman selling akara in your neighborhood, or the one roasting corn in your neighborhood, Akim. Um, I see myself being driven to school, and I see Akim under his mom's shed, and I want Akim to go to school. I want Akim to have the same opportunities that I
That you
have.
have.
Because if Akim does not, Akim is going to be a problem for me somewhere down in the future.
Mm.
So Akim is always in my head that what can I do from where I am to bring Akim to having the same opportunity, even if it's not the same, very close to the one that I'm having, so that Akim can fend for himself in the future and I can fend for myself. I wouldn't have to carry the weight of Akim and his children on mine in the future that I really want to enjoy. Another thing that moves me to identify opportunities is Nigeria. I woke up I gained consciousness to an environment that was always screaming, our leaders are the problem. Every day I'm coming to work, my colleagues in the vehicle would, particularly the one that drives, loves to listen to the radio. He loves to listen to news and all of that in the radio, especially news analysis. And then there is one thing they often say, and he knows at that point he has to tune it off or switch to another place. It's the same points that I've been hearing since I was giving birth to over 4 decades ago, well over 4 decades ago.
Okay, what's that?
And it is that our leaders.
No, we have bad leaders, really.
Well, I don't think solution would come from there, because if you try to do something about what nothing can be done about, the only result you will get is frustration. If we are saying that our leaders are the problem in almost 5 decades that I've been alive, and they haven't fixed the problem, isn't it better we begin to look in some other directions for a solution other than our leaders? I think that the solution that is going to Africa is blessed with resources, both of natural resources and of human resources.
Okay.
Some of the brightest minds that the world have ever seen are Africans. Some of the greatest literary minds, scientific minds, medical minds, entrepreneurial minds that this world have ever witnessed are all Africans. In fact, history has it that the richest man in human history is an African from Congo. Have you read the story?
No, sir.
Yeah, he's an African from. They said Solomon's wealth is small, according to history. It's everywhere. It's
Oh, yeah.
so
That would be Mansa Musa or something.
Thank you, Mansa Musa.
Mansa Musa.
He was acclaimed the richest man that has ever lived on earth. When you came to visit him, you drink in gold, you part with gold. When he's traveling, and he loved to travel, he was a globetrotter. Everywhere he was going through, gold petals were sprinkled in front of his chariots before he could ride on them. That's such, an enormous level of wealth. So, how do we justify that we have a rich weather, we have a rich land, we have a rich people, very intelligent people, but we are looking like we are cursed? What would be the problem? And I hit gold when I realized that the moment you start looking away from the so-called leaders onto ourselves a solution for our continent, the earlier we would hit that solution. So I stopped waiting for the government or for our leaders to do anything. I started doing what I believe should be done, not for myself, but for everyone that's around me. What values can I create for the people around me to live a better life? What can I do differently for the child of the
For Hakim.
for our king. Thank you. What can I do to improve the life of the widow down the street? That was, it wasn't, what changed my life sincerely wasn't looking for money. In fact, friends will be watching me right now that would be able to testify that when they were saying that this is what they wanted to do for money, and they would say, what do you want to do for money? I never answered them. My response have always been, I don't want to work for money.
Say, don't you want to be rich? I said, I don't want to be rich. Like your kind of rich. I don't want to be rich. You have problem. You are going to be married. You're going to have wife. You're going to have children. What do you want to leave for them? I said, I'm going to leave a greater legacy than money can leave. A greater legacy than wealth can acclaim is what I want to leave. It's not money. I've always known that money is a lie.
Money is a lie.
Money is a lie.
Get to explain shit.
It's a facade. It's a mirage.
It's a mirage. It doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist. It's all lies. Because show me the great men, the wealthy men of yesteryear. The wealthy men of yesteryears are not necessarily the great men of yesteryear.
So it's possible that you have money but you're not great.
No, it's absolutely possible that you have. In fact, if you go after money, if all your life is about money, you will not be great.
You are probably
the moment you die, everything goes back to dust. But the people that are truly great are people that make marks in the lives of people.
That had legacies.
That had legacies in people, not in things. And definitely not in money, not in wealth, not in cash. So I realized all of that, and those were the things that changed my frame of mind to knowing where money, where true greatness resides.
Can you please help us list some of the businesses that you have found?
So some of the businesses, like I told you, we found out that true value is in making sure you improve the lives of people. So the first one I like to share, is solving problems for people. So almost every sector have big industries behind them. For example, the food market. We started off as farmers, my wife and I recall, we're just tired of living in Lagos. And we're like, okay, we have always wanted to be I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur. She had a thriving career in the building industry, and she was doing very well. But I told her that I wasn't feeling living in big cities anymore. And this was shortly after our first venture went south, the car cemetery. That I would love to go and farm. I'd always wanted to farm. And I thought about it. Everybody is eating every day. So if we produce what they are eating, it would be nice. But before we went to farm, we were traveling to villages to buy raw foodstuffs. We'll bring it back to Lagos, we package, and we sell in church, we sell our work. And it was making almost our salary, the things you're putting in our car boots to go and sell. So I was like, so what if we do this, full time? So we put some money together and we started full time. Unfortunately, it went very bad. We started the farm at a community in Odobolu local government of Ogun State. We had a Gary processing plant. We had a Gary plantation. We had a truck that was helping us move things around. But we realized that after we have worked for 6 months, our capital, which was at the time about 2 million naira, was only remaining, our working capital was only remaining about 60,000 naira that we could point at.
From 2 million.
2 million naira to 60,000. So I'd call my wife and I'd like, babe, did you buy clothes?
Where did the money go
So where did the money go to? Then we sat back and we calculated. We found out that those that were making the most money in that industry were those that weren't paying for the services of it. For us, we had to pay those that were going to help us work on the farm, pay those that were going to help us plant, pay those that were going to help us make ridges, pay those that were going to help us weed, pay those that were going to help us harvest, pay those
We had a lot of people to
so
pay,
many to pay those that will peel,
pay for fertilizer.
pay for fertilizer, pay, and at the end of the day, when we wanted to sell, we were producing in such volumes that private people are not enough to come and buy from us. We had to rely on the market women,
And the middlemen,
on the middlemen. Thank you. And when the middlemen come around,
they also want to make profit.
if our landing cost is about, say, 18,000 naira per bag, they wanted to buy at 13,000. And if we weren't willing to sell at 13,000, they were going to go away. That's the truth. Now we have so much volume that if they go away, the garri is not going to retain its freshness and all of that. And we needed more money to continue to produce. So we would have them go away. So we're losing money. We're losing a lot of money down the line. The turnaround came when we realized that perhaps we should be standing in between the market and the
They
consumers.
should become the middleman.
We should become the middleman. So we seeded a factory to the people working for us. We told them, our quality, that's what you should produce. And then they started producing, and we started bagging them and going to sell in offices, we're going to sell around, and everybody loved that product. That was what gave back to farm prices. Wow. And that's the name of it, that it is farm quality and at farm prices, So we were quite popular. We got grants from the state government. We got one from the World Bank, and it's still today a very successful venture, farm prices. It's since moved into the e-commerce space, where you could just go and order whatever you wanted to buy, and it would come right to your doorstep. So that's for farm prices. Went on from there to establishing the Royal Citizens Cooperative. That's after we found out that our farmers and market women that we're dealing with were having a lot of issues accessing funds. And we had people on one hand who wanted to give us money because they loved what we're doing, to say, okay, let's invest in you and share profits with us. On the other hand, we had people that needed money to produce, and they were going to share profits with us. So we're like, okay, we can actually be the middleman here to make sure those that have funds are able to give it to those that need funds, and those that need funds are able to share profit to those that, have the capital. And that's been on for years. It's very, very successful. The applications are everywhere, on Play Store and Apple Store. Just download. If you download and register and put your money in, the very next day you begin to see your money grow, because it went after the mindset of a farmer that if you plant a seed in the ground today, by tomorrow it would begin to
germinate.
It's not what you planted that you'll find there, even if you scoop it. It will begin to change in profit for you. So that's exactly what that model is. We've gone from there to establish, other ventures like the Soft Life, the Goat Farm, the Goat Academy, the Campus Pro.
Wait, I heard you say Goat Farm and then Goat Academy.
Yes.
You mean you have goats in school?
No, it's not goats in school. So, to the glory of God, God has helped us. I would be quite frank with you. We are very grateful, but the problem that we seek to solve cannot be solved by us alone. We need to democratize wealth in Nigeria. We need to make sure that everybody it won't be in the same capacity, but if what catches fish goes round, you might catch a shark, I might catch a whale, another person might catch an eel, but everybody ultimately will catch something. Most likely everybody would go home wanting more, but nobody would go home hungry. We believe in that philosophy, and that was what led to the GOAT Academy. GOAT Academy actually stands for the Greatest of All Time Academy.
Okay.
It's Nigeria's first learning management platform for undergraduates. So It's basically you come on that platform. It's an app, very intelligent app, AI driven, and it teaches you skills in tech, in trade, in almost everything that could bring money, to you. And as an
I was going to
undergraduate,
ask that what makes it different from all other apps that we have out there?
okay, yeah, other learning management. Well, those ones are very good, I must confess. The only difference ours have is for the niche that it covers. Um, so the other day, I was on campus talking to some people who were talking about betting, they were talking about some other ways of making money as a student. And I was like, why don't you guys think about other things beyond these very high risk businesses? We're like what? I said, like selling eggs. Like, who has the time for that one? How much can I make with that? And I proved it to the one speaking. I said, what class are you? He said, 200 level, something, something. I said, okay. How many people do you have in your class? She said she has 180 people in her class. I said, all right. What's the food that you eat every day as a student? He said, rice. I said, if it's not rice, it's what? He said, it is indomie. I said, fine. What is the protein that you eat almost every day? He said, it is the egg. It's the fastest to cook, the cheapest to get.
Even if you don't have money for fish and meat,
You will get
you get money for.
So I said, he said eggs. I said, fine. So I challenged one of them. I said, how many people are in your class? She said, 180. I said, okay, let's imagine only one quarter of the people in your class, which is about 45 people, or for the sake of easy numbers, let's say 60 people, are eating egg in your class every day. Is that possible? I was like, no, almost everybody eats egg every day. It's like, okay, let's use 60. Now, if you sell 60 eggs in your class every day, that's 2 crates of egg. You buy 1 crate of egg at 4.5, you sell at 6,000, which means if you sell 2 crates of egg every day, you are making 3,000 naira in profit. In just 5 days, that is 15,000 naira. And in 1 month, that is 60,000 naira that is not sent to you from home or your sponsor. 60,000 naira, in one extra account that does not affect how you've been living your life before. And the number of businesses that you can do as a student entrepreneur are endless. For as long as there are needs, there are opportunities to make money. There are values to create and opportunities to make money. So those are the kind of things that you come about in Goat Academy. They come, they learn trade, they learn tech, they learn how to sell okrika, they learn how to weave hair, or
I saw campus laundry business, something like that.
exactly campus laundry business. You can when you get on the app, it's very, very interesting. Just download, register. It is scholarship funded, so we are going to look for a scholarship for you to be funded on it. And once you go live, once you've learned, it's not just going to tell you to go and start a business. We'll teach you how to do the business, how to market your business, how to do the customer care on your business, how to do your bookkeeping on the business. So it makes you a total businessman, not just I am selling. No. You are a professional trade person when you are selling after going to Trade Goat Academy.
Something on that Goat Academy. Being an app, because I personally have bought courses on apps, and those courses are just there. I did not have the time to. So what makes the difference? Because some a student can get a course and refuse to attend to that course.
Thank you very much. All of these were the things we studied before we started the Goat Academy platform. Even I have started many books that I didn't finish. So I wouldn't blame those that would buy a course and wouldn't follow through. But we ensured, like our parents, like the essence of our parents in our lives. Yorubas have an adage that says, if you shoot at a game, it's an hunters have an adage. If you shoot at a game, you must trail what you've shot. So it's exactly how our parents do. When they send you to school,
That English may be too high, but what do you mean by game?
animals, exactly, animals.
When you shoot an
When you shoot an animal, you have to follow your
Okay,
shot.
wow.
Follow the animal to ensure that
Otherwise
that
you
animal,
lose the meat.
you lose the meat, you lose your bullet, you lose your effort, you lose your sleep for hunting and all of that. So don't waste your efforts. Once you go after a thing, make sure you trail it. And that came into being in building the Goat Academy app, because if you start a course, it would begin to tell you have a limited amount of time to finish it, to conclude the course. Every course, you have to take classes daily, And every class terminates in taking the class quiz for the day. So to ensure that you didn't just play the class, you are not just watching, you are participating. So you are learning by force. So after you've learned, it would issue a certificate to you that you completed the course, and then you can go on to make a business, from it. And but if you are not following through with all the reminders, you are automatically given a suspension from the school. And that's a lot of money you are leaving on the table. Plus, you see your colleagues that are following through and are now beginning to make money as studentpreneurs. You don't want that to happen. So all of these were, put into the app. Another interesting part of the app is the artificial intelligence part of it. It is absolutely AI driven. So you have an idea you want to validate, just key it in to tell you the strengths and the weaknesses of it. You have a business you want to promote it to give you just how to promote it for the weekend.
The auto cemetery. If you had an app then like this,
It would have told us the pitfalls that eventually gave us the problem that it was thousands of dollars that went down in that one, which wouldn't have been. It helps you see ahead. It also has what we call the smart library, where if you get into the library, you have every one of these wonderful books, that we've always wanted to read in a library on it digitally. So you could read, or you could have it read to you, can tell it AI to play it to you, and it to play it into your hearing audio.
Wow.
You could also watch some of those books as videos, as animation. So it's designed with the Nigerian students on mind.
So, sir, with all these ventures that you have, Good Academy, Royal Citizen, Farm Price, I also learned that there are some restaurants. You talk about Soft Life. I think Soft Life is a cleaning service. How do you manage your time with family and your faith? How do you manage that? Because I know we only have 24 hours in a day, except maybe you have some several hours that you're hiding somewhere that you're not sharing with the rest of us.
Well, thank you very much for that question. Our that side very simply, it's in building systems. System is what is making it possible for God not to be in charge of your brain, your heart, your lungs, part time. He built a system to run itself, and every time He's watching you now, He's watching you in His glory. That yes, see the work of my hands glorifying me. If we think like God, we would be able to build systems that does not need us before it can be run and it can be sustainable, and then it frees up your hand to be able to do as much as God is committing to your heart to do for Him. So it's simply in building the systems that make from the get-go, before you start, you're already thinking, how is this operation going to run independent of me? So that's what it is. And yes, we have the Soft Life. It's a cleaning company. It's all over the country. We have the Church AI, which is leading the artificial intelligence advocacy, especially in faith circle, in our churches. And we are quite grateful for how far God has brought us, and grateful for everyone that He has brought into our lives to help us get to the places that we are today.
Maybe some of them credit.
Not to, they are very, very numerous, to mention, and they know themselves as they watch me now. I'm super grateful to everyone. I don't believe anybody is self-made. I believe everybody is number one God made and number two people made. You didn't born yourself. You didn't you didn't have your first bath. And when you're going to breathe your final breath, it wouldn't be you that is going to cover you or that's going to remember you. Every point we need people. So to everyone that God have sent as angels, before, during, and after, I'm super grateful. Super, super grateful.
So someone is out there wants to start a business. The person does not know where to start. What will you tell that person?
I'll say look for the problems around you. Look for the things people are always very angry about around you. And like you said, we are concluding. Let me conclude with the story of Stephanie on Goat Academy. So Stephanie is a medical student at the University of Abuja, and she one day we were in class and we challenged everyone. You've had several things taught in class. Now today, go out, don't beg for urgent 2K, don't ask for anybody's support. Go out and by Monday, return with 2,000 naira that you have made from thin air, from the problems that you've solved from around you. Some said they were going to sweep their rooms instead of having their colleagues sweep the room, that they were going to sweep the room and collect money from their friends. Others said a lot of things, jokingly in class that night. But the story of Stephanie stood out for me. And what she did was that very night, she went to the front of her hostel and collected 10 bags of pure water. Told the mama that she was going to pay her by morning. Put on her WhatsApp status, I'm delivering bags of pure water, 10 bags of pure water between 8 and 8:20. If you need one, just DM me. The price is the same as you go and buy from outside, 500 naira. But I'm delivering to your doorstep between 8 p.m. and 8:20. By 8:10, everyone that saw it on her status had ordered. Her pure water bags had finished. That night, she bought each bag at 400 naira, made 100 naira per bag, and she had made 1,000 naira. By the following day, she got, I think, 20 bags. And in 15 minutes, she had sold out. Third day, she got about 30 bags. In 15 minutes, in 20 minutes thereabout, she had sold out. But she had to stop because we wanted it to be a research. It was a research and all of that. There was a way to balance these things with academics and all of that. So, but by the time she returned to class on Monday, she had been able to make 5 or 6,000 naira out of thin air.
Within Friday.
Within just 15 minutes on Friday, 20 on Saturday, 20 on Sunday. Put together, about 1 hour, she had made 5,000. And that was outside of the time she was using to study or do any other thing, just time to relax. So the problem she identified in her community was that people needed water, but the stress of going
to buy
and come back was something she could leverage as a middleman.
Between the seller
and it was not costing extra, so everybody wanted the convenience. So look for four things.
She started from zero because
she started from zero. She didn't even have a capital. She only went with her goodwill, got the stock, sold, returned the money to the vendor, to the owner, and took a profit.
And the woman too is happy.
The woman is happy because she's selling in speed. And
she may even demand for commission from
having an edge over every one of her competitors, so everybody wins. Every good business has 4 components. If I can quickly share that. Number 1, it helps people make money. Look for things around you that will make people around you make more money. It will be a good business. Number 2, it helps people to save money. If people were spending so much, but now they can spend a little less for the same thing, they are going to buy from you. You will be in good business. Number 3, it helps people solve problems. Someone have a headache, a paracetamol that can be brought to that situation is going to solve it. Number 4, it saves time. If your business saves time, it will solve problems. So look for those things around you. How are people to make money? How can people save money? How can people solve these problems? And how can people save time? If you're able to answer those questions, you'll create value, and money would follow that value.
Before we close, sir, we know of the businesses that you have. We know there are some businesses that are gone, like the auto symmetry is gone. I think the farming too is out of the picture.
Yes.
But there are businesses that are on ground. Is this the peak of it, or are we expecting some other new things in the future? Are there other businesses that we are expecting? Are there some that are cooking? Can you give us some spoiler?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So right now, we are working on a particular one called the Church AI. The Church AI. Now, the Church AI helps churches to automate most of the things that they do manually, but beyond that, help them to do the most important thing that God has called pastors and leaders to do, which is Peter, feed my flock. Peter, feed my flock. A lot of church members don't have access to their pastors because the pastors are very busy. Now, how can we make sure that the pastor is accessible to everyone? That's where the Church AI comes in. So not only are you able to, in one platform, attend church, attend your Sunday school, pick up your hymn now, read your Bible, study your Bible, go to the past messages of the scriptures on one app, be part of the conversations that's going on, a community like WhatsApp group, you know, for you have it for just your church, you know, you have it on there that you can chat within yourselves or outside of, you know, to any other person that is in that community. All of that are on it. But beyond all of that, the AI is trained to by the pastor's messages and persona and all of that to represent the pastor. So an average member that have a burden in her heart could reach out and say, Pastor, this is what is going on.
Probably does not even want the pastor to hear.
To hear. Can go on and say, Pastor, this is what just happened.
The pastor's mind
would be on it. The AI response, the pastor evidently knows it's AI, but the AI responds saying that, oh, this is what to do. This is what we talk like your pastor actually, and say that Sister Augustina, for example, I'm so sorry to hear about that, but this is what Jesus Christ taught us to do, and personally I advise that you take these steps. You know, all of that is already included in it, according to every one of the things the pastors have been preaching over time, and all of that. There is, you know, trained that way. And beyond that, there is somebody on the back end that is going through every one of the chats that people are having with the pastor, such that if there is one that is very, very important that needs the pastor's attention, that is referred to the pastor for the pastor to be able to reach out to that person, which is an effective way of shepherding the church, ensuring that not a single sheep is lost.
Just like Jethro did to Moses.
Jethro going after him, even though he was far away in the wilderness, wasn't even in Egypt at this time, was far away in the wilderness, went looking for him, and he's looking for him, helped save Moses' life and help accomplish his purpose, because he was already burnt out. You know, so that's the difference, that the ease that the church AI brings. So this is one of the things that we are rolling out. We're also rolling out the Campus Pro. The Campus Pro is the marketplace, you know, for all students. They are learning so much, a lot of skills now. Where are they going to sell? So this is the place where they own the market. They are selling, they are buying amongst themselves, and sharing the profits and making themselves big, you know, by that. We also have a platform for them, you know, on the Royal Citizens, where students are able to save half of what they are making. So if you've done a business, you've helped somebody plait their hair, and you made, say, 3,000. We encourage you to spend 1,500 on yourself, but save 1,500. Why? Because what you save will save you.
What you save
will save you. So if in the 48 months of your being in school, cumulative of 60 months of being in school for a 4-year course, you are able to save something every week. From our calculation, an average student should be able to save anything between 600 to 1 million naira if you are very diligent. And this isn't taking anything away from you. It's you just doing something on the side and saving significantly from it. By the time you graduate and you save this money in your cooperative, you will be graduating with twice more cooperative loss of whatever you've saved, which means while you were on campus, you weren't only learning your academics, you were building capacity, you were having your capacity building in your business venture that you're building. You're building competence because you keep practicing, and then you'll be finally graduating with capital, what you've saved, now that you are getting double to go and expand what you've been doing on campus, which is effectively solving the problem of unemployment to our teaming graduates and making them business owners and people that are hiring labor instead of joining the statistics in the labor market. So these are the things that we have, you know, coming on board. A lot more for as long as we have breadth. By the grace of God, will keep solving human problems.
The Campus Pro that you talk about, a marketplace for students to, does it provide opportunity for, apart from students that want to sell, the ones that want to buy, does it provide other opportunities for any other people, probably students? Is there more opportunity apart from, okay, I want to buy, I want to sell? Who else does it serve?
Well, it serves the entire nation, because you're going to get services cheaper than any other person can provide for you. It's been told some of the best.
How does my good or service get to me if I am buying as a student now? I want to buy Indomie from somebody. Okay, we've connected, but we're far away from each other. How does it get to me?
Thank
Are
you.
we supposed to meet? I mean, how
No,
am I?
no, 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 no. It's a very intelligent app that shows you in real time when your product is getting to your door. It's you would see like you would
Oh, okay,
see.
so there are couriers that brings
There are
dispatch
students.
riders.
There are students that are now serving as dispatch riders. That's how they are
Okay.
making their own savings. That are going to be exchanging those goods. They'll pick the goods from you and take it to the one that needs it and make money in that service that they have been able to provide. And the app lets you know when it was picked up, when it was delivered within the students ecosystem and all of that. Everybody wins. So
Wow, we really appreciate your time. Thank you for being on the show. As we wrap up today's episode of Unfiltered, I want to sincerely thank you for taking your time to share your journey, your experience, and the lessons that you have learned along the way. One thing that stands out from our conversation is that lasting success is not built overnight. It is built through vision, it is built through resilience, discipline, and courage to keep moving. I love the story of Stephanie that you shared, who rose to being a hero, even though it was just an experiment. She showed us that you really don't have an excuse. You can start from nothing and you can build something from nothing. So it shows us that real success is not built overnight. It is built through vision, resilience, discipline, and the courage to keep moving forward, even when the odds are against you. You shared with us the story of you and your wife farming, the auto symmetry, and all. So there are times the odds will be against you. To everyone watching or listening, I hope this conversation has challenged you to think bigger and to act bolder and pursue your goals with greater purpose. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and leave a comment telling us your biggest takeaway. What did you get from this discussion? Would love to hear from you. Thank you once again to our amazing guests, and thank you too for tuning in. I'm PTOM, and this has been Unfiltered, where we go beyond the success story to uncover the truth, the lessons, and the journey that inspire greatness. Until next time, stay curious, stay authentic, and keep growing. God bless you.